Here we have joining us today is Tiffany Wayne, who owns Tiffany Wayne Photography, and she's a local photographer in the Capital Region, and she's here to discuss with us her business and her accomplishments through it. So Tiffany, why photography?
Well, ever since I was a kid, I've basically been obsessed with taking pictures. I would always have my family members and friends model for me. I would use the CVS throwaway cameras. We would take modeling pictures for our grandmother. And one instance that I remember quite clearly is my cousins and I. We weren't allowed to use the nice family camera, but we wanted to anyway. So we took the camera and we're taking pictures to surprise our parents with. And when the film started rewinding, it startled us and we were like, oh no, we're gonna get caught and get in trouble. So we squeezed the camera until it broke. And that basically started my photography career, even though that ended that particular photography session.
So how mad were your parents when they found out that you broke the camera?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember what happened after that, but I'm sure that it wasn't a good end result for sure.
So where did you go to study photography?
Well, I took a high school photography class. I am a graduate of Shenandoah High School. Worked with Mr. Taylor during my time there. After I graduated from college, I basically went back to my high school photo teacher and was like, okay, I have all these pictures. People are telling me they like them and I should do something with them. I just have no idea what. So he pointed me to Hallmark Institute of Photography, which is basically an elite photography school located in Turners Falls, Massachusetts. It's a 10-month program and they accept only about 200 students a year. People come from all around the world to attend this school. That's where I went. 10-month band, I basically graduated in the top 10% and was awarded Most Professional Attitude and Bearing Award at the end of the year.
So what was your reaction when you got into Hallmark Institute?
Oh my gosh, immediately when I found out about the school, I went home, looked it up online, and it was just amazing. I honestly, it was so me, just the whole vibe of this school and the thought of doing photography night and day for 10 months was like heaven to me. I scheduled an appointment with admissions right away, and when I got down there, I mean, it was basically like, just the decor of the place was amazing, just the studios, the faculty, the technology, we learned on the state-of-the-art equipment. Everything was what world-renowned photographers are using right now, shooting big advertising campaigns and stuff like that. So the school was just really unreal.
What were your most memorable projects from it?
I worked with a model. She was in Teen Vogue magazine. She lived over in Albania and was modeling a bunch over there, and she came over to the United States to pursue her modeling career. One of our assignments was to do a teenage portrait, and since she was in Teen Vogue, I jumped on that opportunity, and we went into New York City and did a shoot in the basement of this apartment building in Brooklyn, where it's quite possible that there are rats running around somewhere that I didn't see because it was really grungy, but we got a really awesome shot. That's probably the most memorable shoot that I can think of.
So did you always want to do glam, weddings? Did you know what kind of photography you wanted to have a specialty in?
Yeah. Since I was a kid, I loved advertising pictures, the beauty, high fashion. I really, for some reason, love the real edgy European style, kind of disjointed looking photography. I don't know. There's just something about it that really appeals to me. So I really wanted to break into that market and, do like America's Next Top Model sort of photography work. That was my focus for a number of years, but time went on. I'm a sucker for romance, so getting involved in the wedding industry and being able to transform everyday people and making them look like they could be America's Next Top Model was something that started to inspire me. So I decided to get involved in the wedding industry and yet still do my fashion photography stuff in conjunction with that, just, for fun for myself.
So after you graduated from the Hallmark Institute, where did you go?
Well, within 2 weeks of graduation, I was hired at Women's World magazine in their photography department. So I started off working as an editor for the magazine, and then within a short time frame, I worked my way up to director of photography. So working at Women's World magazine, I was basically in charge of doing a lot of things as director. I was overseeing the photography department, going over their photo research, making sure that it was well suited for the Women's World vibe. I was also in charge of doing art directing in the studios 3 times a week, which had me working with set stylists, food stylists, models. I also was in charge of setting up photo shoots nationwide for the real life stories in the magazine, in addition to running daily meetings with the editor-in-chief and making sure that we met deadlines on a weekly basis. So during my time there, it was pretty amazing. I met a lot of great people, a lot of talented people. It was definitely an experience I'll never forget. I remember the first day that I walked into the magazine, they had leopard carpets and red chairs, and I was sold. I was like, this is awesome. I'm so excited to be here.
Where did you have to move to work for Women's World?
I was down in the New York City area. They were based in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey, which is right over the George Washington Bridge, so pretty close to the city. So I was down that way for about 3.5 years and spent my time working.
So did you like the city life, or were you not a fan of it?
You know, I loved being in New Jersey, in an area in New Jersey that's close enough to the city that I can go in when I want it, but then also leave that hustle and bustle and be able to relax and have my car. And I mean, a car for me is freedom, so I definitely would not be able to deal without having a car living in Manhattan. So it was nice being on the Jersey side, but, you know, having that ability to hop in whenever I wanted to.
So where did you go after that?
After that, I went out to Los Angeles, California, and accepted a position as photo editor at an international celebrity photography agency. And basically, my duties there were editing pictures that photographers would send in and getting them prepped for publication for different magazines worldwide. So any of the photography that you see of celebrities at events or some of the paparazzi work, that was basically all at our agency. I guess you can compare the agency to Getty Images a little bit, except for it's more on like a mom and pop scale. We service the same people that they do, so.
What were some of your most memorable shots there?
Well, one that I can tell you about that I'm sure everybody will know is the shirtless Obama photograph that was on the beach in Hawaii. That was taken by our agency, and some of the other ones, maybe the Britney Spears infamous no panties shot.
Pretty risque shots.
Some pretty risque shots, yeah.
So
not my proudest part of my background in photography. I can tell you that much. But I was on the editing side, not the picture taking side. Mm-hmm. Just an FYI.
Why did you want to move out to LA?
You know, I always joked with my parents that I was going to move out to Los Angeles at some point during my career, and I never actually believed that it would happen just because I thought I'd be too much of a chicken to move across country. But lo and behold, I moved out, and it was a great experience. You know, I met some friends out there who will be friends for life, and, you know, they're like a family to me. The weather got really boring, 75 and sunny every single day. I mean, I love the seasons, and I know a lot of people must think I'm absolutely nuts for saying that, but honestly, like, the weather got so boring. It would start misting out, and people would freak out thinking that it's raining, and it's like, calm down, people, just chill.
I think it's absolutely nuts that you missed that weather, but you missed the weather here, but why did you want to come back to New York besides the weather?
Well, I always wanted to settle back in this Capital District area. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's because, you know, my family's here and this is where I grew up, but I don't know. I mean, it's close to Boston, it's close to New York. I mean, it's kind of a great central location. So for me, moving back, you know, as I'm getting older and settling down, it just seemed like the right thing to do. So that's what I did. Moved back and opened up my photography business about a year ago, and things are really just taking off, and I couldn't be happier.
How has your photography business been? You said that it's been taking off. What projects have you been doing?
Well, basically, I have been, a bunch of different projects, actually. Within 4 months after opening my business, I had the opportunity to work with some celebrities and do a bit of traveling last summer. So I found myself on Ted Nugent's ranch doing some photography work with his wife, Shemaine Nugent. And from that portrait session, I was able to work as Ted's exclusive photographer on his summer tour last year. And so that was great. And that was in Texas that I did the work with Shemaine. And following that, I worked with actor Jay Head. He was the child star who worked alongside Sandra Bullock in the award-winning film The Blind Side. So I got a chance to work with him and his family doing a portrait session, which was also in Texas. Also that summer I made my way to Cincinnati, Ohio, where I photographed Quan Cosby, who is on the Cincinnati Bengals team. It was really fun. And also I went to Nashville, Tennessee to photograph singer-songwriter Ryan Tyndall, who works for Sony Music Publishing and OLE.
So how did they find out about you, a photographer in upstate New York?
Yeah, well, my sister's sister-in-law, she is a news anchor for Waco, Texas, and basically knew that I started up a photography business, and she really liked the work that I was producing, and basically sent out an email to all the people who she interviewed, anyone who was big. Several of them jumped on the opportunity, so next thing I know, 4 months in my business, I was setting up photography shoots with these people who were in the spotlight, and that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that.
What feedback have you gotten on those?
Oh my goodness. A lot of people have just been really impressed. The shoot that I did with Quan Cosby, I've gotten a number of positive responses on the photographs and the exclusive interview that I did with him. So it's just been nothing but good messages, I guess.
So how come you interviewed Quan Cosby?
I thought it would just be neat because to go along with a photo story. I mean, photos are always cool, but to have some sort of backstory along with it. We had a 2-day shoot. One was in Texas where he went to high school, and we did some pictures on his high school football field, kind of like bringing him back. And then we followed it up with the shoot over in Cincinnati at the Bengals Stadium. So having, the backstory, I thought, having something to go along with it other than just looking at the pictures would make the story even better.
So on your website, Tiffany Wayne Photography, how come you do blogs along with showing pictures of engagement shoots and weddings?
I do blogs because I think it's a great way to, stay in front of the public. Social media and being online is so huge right now, and it's free marketing. So honestly, the more that I can stay in front of people, definitely brings in more clients. So, and it just keeps people in the know, what I'm up to, what I'm doing. I'm not just, sitting around, waiting for people to call me. I'm, taking initiative and trying to, just show people what I'm doing.
What recent projects have you been working on?
Well, right now, I'm really excited about spring fashion advertising campaign that I'm doing for Bliss Salon, Sweet Leaf Boutique, and Caitlin Marion Aesthetics. Basically, the whole shoot is going to revolve around the new spring fashion trends, and that includes hair and makeup, not just wardrobe. The photographs are going to be used to help promote a Spring Fling event, which is being put on by Katie O'Malley of KDO Weddings and Events. The Spring Fling is basically going to be bringing ladies, like a ladies' night, I guess you could say, and some of the proceeds are going to be benefiting the Thomas Patrick Morrison Foundation. So it'll be a great event. I'm really looking forward to it. We have a great team of people, and the pictures are going to be awesome because I have some fabulous ideas and just can't wait.
Other than that project, do you have anything else coming up? How have your bookings been going for weddings and engagement shoots?
Oh, that has been going really good. Right now, I'm not taking any more wedding clients for this 2011 year because I have enough work, plenty of work to keep me busy. I'm actually booking already in 2012, which is really exciting. I've already kicked off the wedding season a couple weekends ago shooting at the Canfield Casino. It was a fabulous wedding that I just had so much fun working at, and I can't wait to, continue shooting this season. I think it's 26 weddings booked for this year, which is a good amount. A couple are back-to-back. Not all of them are local. I'll be doing some traveling for them as well. So I'm just really looking forward to the season and, completing it with a bang, and we'll see what happens.
Where are you traveling to for these pictures?
Some are up in the Catskills. Others are down in Westchester. So not too far, but far enough, I guess, is, not the capital district. But I have wedding inquiries as far away as California, so hopefully things will pan out with that, and, we'll see what happens.
Would you want to stay in New York even if your business grows some more? Do you want to stay in the capital region, or would you want to move away?
I'll always be based in the capital region, but I will always, travel for assignments. If you want me to go to Poland, I'll go to Poland. If you want me to go to Italy, I'll go to Italy. So definitely open to travel.
So with all the work that you do you need any help on the side?
Right now, I do have an intern working for me. She is a student at Bethlehem Lab School, has taken some photography classes at her high school, and has an interest in photography. So I took her on, and things have been going really, really well. Her name is Jenny.
How are you connected with Jenny?
Her photography teacher is a member in the St. Pius choir that I'm involved in, and he approached me one day knowing how busy my work was starting to increase, and he said, "Would you be interested in taking on an intern?" And I was like, yes, I would. So he put me in touch with her, and everything has just been working out great. So she's going to be contributing to my blog every once in a while. She also helps with editing pictures and doing some light Photoshop work. But other than that, yeah, I mean, she's been really, really a great help, and I'm lucky to have, become connected with her.
Now, you mentioned that you're in the St. Pius choir, so do you do any charity work with them?
I have donated a portrait session to help with our fundraiser for an annual trip to Germany, or not an annual trip to Germany, imagine that. No, they are scheduled to do a tour over in Germany, a pilgrimage, and they're going to be singing at a couple of different locations. I donated a portrait session to them. Also, there have been a couple of other foundations that I've worked closely with, more specifically Girls Inc. I have done some photography work for them, and also donated some other portrait sessions to help raise money for some other wonderful causes in the area.
How come you feel it's important to do that?
I feel like if you have a talent, then you should share your gift with others. You see all these shows about giving back on TV, and a lot of them are monetary donations, but I'm not a millionaire, and I don't have that type of money to donate, so I figured why not donate something that could, serve as some great memories for people down the line. So that's my way of giving back.
So I saw recently that you were published on another blog, on Rock and Roll Bride. What's it like getting published?
It's pretty awesome. I mean, lucky enough to be published in, a bunch of different online magazines and even some regular magazines. Most recently, Occasions magazine published a baby shower that I shot down in Fort Myers, Florida. Additionally, I have had some work published on the Rock and Roll Bride blog, which is this fabulous blog, which is based out of the UK. And so Rock and Roll Bride, the charity wedding blog, Brenda's wedding blog, Sparkle and Hay, which is inspirations for a rustic chic wedding. And there's been several others too that I'm completely drawing a blank on, but being published has been quite an honor, considering that it's only been a year that I've been in business.
Other than being featured on blogs, what other awards or accomplishments have you had?
I have been recognized by the International Lucy Awards, which is basically the Oscars for photography. There were over 16,000 entries and 32 countries that were involved in the competition, and my work picked up 4 honorable mentions. That was pretty great. I got to go to the award gala in New York City in October, and I actually spent some time with world-renowned photographer Lucienne Clerc, and that was pretty amazing. And we actually still keep in touch, and he'll send me Christmas cards and stuff, and he's based in Paris and an amazing photographer.
So what was it like meeting him?
It was truly an honor. He was at the Lucy Awards. I just met up with him at some point during the night and just congratulated him on his accomplishments, and spent a good portion of the night chatting with him and learning more about his photography business, and it was really an honor.
What were you honorably mentioned for? What were they, specific pictures?
Yeah, there were 4 different pictures. One was actually the girl that I was telling you about who modeled in Teen Vogue when I was attending Hallmark Institute. So one of her pictures picked up an award for me. So that's pretty cool.
Does that affect your ego at all?
I try and keep my ego in check.
The wedding industry seems to be pretty big with all these online magazines and other blogs. Why is the wedding industry becoming so much bigger?
I think because it's an industry that will never go away. People are always going to be getting married. There are always going to be weddings. There's always going to be a need for photographers, for caterers, for venues, for, dress designers. There's always going to be a need. So I think people just are starting to run with it and making it not so cookie cutter. Everyone wants to have a unique wedding, and everybody wants to shine on their special day. So finding the right talent that will work for you is is important. So making sure that there's enough to go around, I guess, in terms of vendors and services is probably why things are booming the way that they are.
What was the first wedding like that you ever photographed?
Oh my goodness. So this was before I went to photography school. I was taking pictures once again of one of my good friends. She really, really liked the pictures that I took of her, and she asked me to photograph her wedding, and I'm like, you are crazy. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But she insisted, and I, after much convincing, finally accepted the job and bought all my film at CVS. Oh, yeah. And actually, toward the end of the reception, I ran out of film, and her brother offered to go run out to CVS and get me more film. And, people still, they liked the pictures. In fact, one of her cousins, they wanted to fly me out to Chicago to do their wedding. And I mean, having not even being formally trained yet in shooting film, I was like, I'm sorry, but even shooting, this wedding was a stretch for me. So I couldn't accept that job comfortably, and I turned it down, but it was pretty awesome. Well, awesomely not awesome. But it was an experience I'll never forget, that's for sure.
Well, that's good for your first one. So what has been your favorite shoot of all?
I guess, well, I don't know, because it seems like every shoot that I do, it's my new favorite. So it's hard to just pick one, but I guess one that's sticking out in my mind is one that I did back in August with a model, and, well, it was a bride and groom, but they weren't really getting married. It was a setup shoot, but basically I put together this concept for a wedding that was vintage inspired and had lots of old cameras involved and high fashion. So it was vintage, high fashion, and cameras, which are like my three loves. So putting that together and seeing the final outcome was pretty awesome, and I definitely accomplished what I set out to do, and it was pretty amazing.
And those are the photos that's on Rock and Roll Bride right now, right?
That's right.
Why are engagement shoots so important? I see all over your blog so many engagement shoots, not just the weddings anymore.
Engagement shoots are a great opportunity for the couple to work with a photographer before their wedding. That way they get, a feel for how the photographer works, and the photographer gets a chance to get to know the couple a little bit better. They're becoming more popular because people would like to have nice pictures not in their wedding attire, just to have around the house. And it also, in addition to getting to know the photographer, a lot of times the brides will set up their makeup trials and their hair appointments just so they see how everything will come together for their wedding day. So it's a good opportunity, kind of like I don't really want to say a trial run because the wedding day is so different, but it's just a nice opportunity to get to know, who you're going to be working with on your special day.
What do you want for the future of Tiffany Wayne photography?
Some of my goals include worldwide travel. I definitely would love to travel all over the place for photography work. I would love to not only stay involved with the wedding industry, but also expand into fashion photography and hopefully have some work published in some of the great fashion photography magazines that are out there now. Those are my big goals. I've always dreamed big. So
dream big or go home.
That's right.
What do you want people to think of when they see Tiffany Wayne photography? When they see your pictures, what do you want them to feel or think?
I think for me, the most important thing is being able to connect with the people who look at my photographs. I want them to be able to feel something, not just be like, oh, that's a great picture. Like, for me to be able to transfer the emotion of a moment into someone who's looking at the pictures is a pretty phenomenal thing. So if I can accomplish that, then I'm satisfied.
How have you done that in the past? How do you get people comfortable enough in front of the camera who may normally be camera shy? How do you get them to act so fluid and normal?
I have a really bubbly personality, so I think calling out the obvious. I mean, it's not every day that you have a camera in front of your face. I mean, let's face it, like, I would hate that. Like, that makes me uncomfortable. So just by joking around with that fact alone usually gets people being like, all right, at least, like, she acknowledges the fact, like, this is so weird for us and completely awkward. So I think by joking around and just, one of my pet peeves is when photographers shout direction from behind the camera. I like to just talk to my subjects on a, like you're talking to a friend. Like, you want to talk to their face. You don't want to be shouting direction from behind the camera. So I think, that having that respect for one another and establishing a friendship between yourself and the client definitely helps bring out their personality.
I saw on your blog on one of the posts that you did over the summer that you used a squeak toy.
Yeah, my this was in Louisiana. I was photographing my sister and her husband, and my husband is completely anti-pictures, like does not want any part of it at all. My sister and I came up with a plan to make him laugh, that we were going to grab one of the dog's squeaky toys and surprise him with it and squeak it and make him laugh that way, and it completely worked. And we actually got the idea from when my mom used to take us to, portrait studios when we were young kids, and they would have all these ridiculous things like Mickey Mouse on a leash throwing it at us, and just like the most bizarre, and it wasn't even funny. Like, my sister and I, we were like 13 years old, so throwing a Mickey Mouse toy at us isn't necessarily gonna make us laugh. But so we were kind of playing off of our own experience just because it was so ridiculous, and it actually worked.
Your sister just recently had a baby, right?
Yeah, she did. Yep. So I'm a new auntie.
You're an aunt, and I could tell that you were so excited about it from your blog posts, and you just did photography for them as well?
Yep. I went to the hospital and was able to capture some of the first moments of baby Harper as he was welcomed into the world, and I put together a little video that included video shots and photography and made a little welcome video for him, and that has gotten quite the amount of traffic to my blog.
How many hits have you gotten on it?
On that video alone, I think I'm probably about 1,800 right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel?
Proud.
A proud aunt and
proud
photographer?
Aunt, yeah, and photographer.
So you mentioned that you did a video for your new nephew. Have you done videos before?
I just started getting into adding little video clips to my work. It's not something that I'm trained to do, but I'm teaching myself slowly but surely, just so I can add a little something extra to the photographs. I think having a little slideshow is nice, and then if you can have a couple of video clips incorporated just to kind of bring it up to the next level, I'm all for it. So I'm trying to get through that and teach myself as I go along, and I've had a good response with them so far.
So your feedback is positive enough to keep going?
Yep.
Do any other wedding blogs, do they do that as well?
Well, it's usually either all video or all photography. I haven't seen anyone do both video and photography in one little slideshow. For the most part, it's just video or one or the other.
All right, so that wraps up our program for today, and with us today was Tiffany Wayne. She has TiffanyWayne.com. Go there, check out her blog, check out everything on there, including her videos, and book her for your next 2012, 2013, and 2014 weddings.
Sounds fabulous. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for having me here. It's been fun.